Morning, y'all. So we are on day 2, if you like, of the journey. We've got Aiden out there practicing. I think he's actually playing in a competition today, which is fine. I'm happy for him to be out there playing. And we've also got 2 students coming today. So the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, we'll introduce you to the next 2 students in the journey. Thanks to everyone who kind of commented on yesterday's videos, today's journey with Aiden. Great start, loads of support for him. Let's see if we can get him lower. Lots of people thinking that he can get lower as well, which is promising. But lots of people just looking at kind of the style of his swing, maybe rather than thinking about the fact that how easy he found it to top it when the ball was below his feet. So even though I've got a lot of confidence Aiden can get lower, it's not just on how his swing looks for me. I've still got concerns that we need to work on. We've actually got some sun out today as well, which is really exciting. So today's question is, how much of a fair weather golfer are you? Do you play only when the weather suits? Do you play in any weather? Let me know. I know when I was younger, I'd play in anything. Nowadays, definitely, I only really want to play if the situation is kind of exactly where I want it. Lots of people talk about growing the game and how people fall out of the game. It's too expensive, takes too much time. I think a lot of it is to do with seasonal reactions to people who don't want to do their pastimes in bad weather. Definitely in the UK. Post comments down below, let me know what you think. Do you play in all kinds of weathers, or are you a bit of a fair weather golfer like me? Right, better get a talkie. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Mark.
So we have Michael who's off 12. Someone said in a video that you were off 17.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that, Mark.
That was me. So off 12, playing at Celtic Manor.
Yes.
Bad shots we're saying are iron approach shots.
Yes.
So you're saying your driver's quite competent at the moment.
It is at the moment, yeah.
Short game quite competent.
Yes.
You've been playing off 12, you're obviously doing a lot of things right. So we're going to start with some iron measurements. Are you ready to take the journey? 6 months.
I am.
What's the goal? What's
really
your
excited.
goal?
I want to get single figures this year. Yes.
You have been to 11.2.
I was 17.4 last year, down to 11.2, and now I'm 12.3. Kind of
so
stuck.
you've done what lots of people do. You've gone like this and then plateaued. Exactly what Aiden was saying yesterday, really. Yeah. So I like lessons like this because in theory, you're the hardest people to change because maybe you peaked.
Maybe too soon.
I don't think you have. So this is a 7 iron you're hitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Really good shot. I mean, they're just good shots.
Yeah.
So what you bring to the table there makes me wonder why you say your approach shot is bad. Your approach shots are bad. That 7 iron as that stands at the moment, and we'll test it more.
Yeah.
If you came for me for a lesson to improve 7 or 8 iron.
Yeah.
Unless you were doing what we're doing here, which had the time to really commit, I would say go away. I don't want your money.
Yeah.
Go and hit that 7 iron like that. What are you doing here?
Yeah, okay.
The fact that you're off 12, with the way you presented that 7 iron to me then, has nothing to do with that mid-range irons.
Yeah.
So when you say your approach shots aren't good, does that mean if we push it to a 5 iron it goes worse, or if we go to a wedge it goes worse?
I'm being honest, I'm being long range, straighter than me shot on. The shot on ones are going way off.
So if we go like a 9 iron, that's where we might see more misses? Should you grab a 9 iron for me then as well? Right, we're now going to try a 9 iron. 7 iron was pretty good.
Get in.
Yeah, it won't reach, but as I would agree, that was straight at it. Yeah, it was a bit of a high wafter, wasn't it?
Was it? I'll give it the round treatment then.
So we're starting to see something interesting now on those 2 shots. Bit fat as well, that one.
Yeah.
The mat probably won't make you feel that as well.
Averages are
Yeah, so these 9 irons are rubbish compared to how good your 7 iron swing.
Yeah.
Which is not a pattern you see very often. That's quite quirky to you.
Yeah.
Right, Michael, let's show you your numbers.
Okay.
So this is really interesting and why I love doing these kind of one-to-ones. 7 iron, club path was pretty zero, averaged at 0. So that means you're swinging the club at the target.
Yeah.
Okay. And then club face, apart from one shot where you were 3.7 out with the face, and that one you did miss hit, so that is shot number 7, and you got maybe your worst, or one of your worst strikes,
yeah.
And it didn't result in actually going that far offline. Your club faces are all 1 degrees and 0, so your face to path and your path with the 7 iron are immaculate.
Oh, okay.
Your strike is quite spread for such a short club.
Yeah.
I would like to see that tighter.
Okay.
So that strike being spread across the face like that will require you to have shots. So if I used your numbers, but my strike pattern,
yeah,
that's why I don't need shots. So I'm going to apply same speed as you are, same face, same path, but I'm going to hit it in a much tighter area on the face.
Right, okay.
So my ball will go the same distance a lot.
Yeah.
Which allows me to hit more greens.
Okay.
Now what was interesting is when we went to your 9 iron, so we just take 17 off there because it's not red. Club path was 1 right, so you were 2, 1.90, 1.80, 0, 1.5, so very similar. But then we started to see the face jump around, 1 close, 2 open, 3 open, 0, 1, 2 open, 0. And we saw the loft really dance, 36, 38, 37, 35, 35. And then in turn, the strike with the 9 iron became really erratic across the face.
Yeah.
So as we stand at the moment with the irons, there's a bit of an anomaly with your lie of your club in your 9 iron as well, being 1.8 toed up, which is where you're saying you're pulling shorter irons, where your 7 iron is 0 on lie, so dynamically lying good, but the 9 iron is toed up. We've got it out in the shop just measuring it now.
Yeah.
We need to tighten up strike for you.
Okay.
And when you get to 12 handicaps and trying to get into single figures, it's tiny little things that
yeah.
are going to get you to make those gains. We need to somehow get a way to get your strike tighter. Because if we look at your dispersion, green ones being 9, yellow being 7 iron, I don't like the short to long dispersion.
Yeah.
If you look at the shape, see this blue circle around the dispersion, it's like an egg shape going this way.
Yes.
Let me show you something. So this is my folder,
yeah.
and this is say TM driver M4.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 9 iron dispersion we just saw for you. This is a TM driver for me. Apart from one shot, look at the shape of my dispersion. It's an egg shape going that way.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's a driver going around 255 carry, and my dispersion short to long is tiny.
Yeah.
Smaller than your 9 iron.
Yeah. Yeah.
See where I'm going?
Yeah.
For you, even making the backswing, because you want to go so much this way,
Yeah.
move off the ball, which works with the longer stuff.
Yeah.
But my 9 iron swing isn't the same as my rinky-dink swing or my freewood swing.
So my swing's the same.
It's quite, well, even though the numbers change, angle of attacks and that change,
Of course I do.
the way you try to manipulate power out of the ground and move your body, when, like, I mean, there's some good golfers who move the way you do. It's quite Shane Lowry, he's a bit like this, but he's hitting good 9 irons, so why would you change it? We need your short irons better. We need to find out some solutions.
Okay.
One for me would be definitely getting rid of the sway and getting you a much more feeling like you're turning over the ball swing with the shorter stuff to see if that tightens up strike. Yeah, that's the right idea. So you feel like you're turning more on top of that, don't you?
Yeah. I feel like I'm over it more.
Feels more restrictive?
Yeah, definitely. Like that.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Felt good, that one.
So look what's happening, which I quite like, even though it's not tight enough. Strike's still jumping, but we've moved it lower.
Yeah.
Now, a 9 iron being hit so much above the centre of the club is going to be really weak.
Okay.
You're going to get ones that just come up so short.
Yeah.
And that's the ones that you're hitting high up on the face are because you're hitting them fat, so that the mat's letting you off.
Yes.
When we go out on the course, they will show up. Where the ones where you're hitting lower on the face, you're hitting the ground later, so you're going to catch them good to slightly clean, which is a much better miss hit than anything up the face with an iron. Right, we've come out onto the course only after an hour inside, because I need to see a bit clearer what Michael's actually saying here. It's short irons that are struggling. We worked indoors a little bit on not swaying so much to try and get that strike not so high on the face and a little bit more contained, which we kind of did, but we certainly got it lower but not as contained. But I want to see how it works when we got some targets and grass and slopes working, because what he was doing inside, we could make something up, or we could try and make him better, can't we? So Michael's told me that downhill lies is not your friend as well, which kind of contributes a little bit to the swaying action that we've talked about inside. So the first here at Torquay, they're doing some work on the course, so the tee has been moved way forward, so you could actually go and whack a driver down on the green. But have you teed that ball up? Yes. Can you hit it from the ground like it's a fairway shot? Give yourself a nice lie, but a fairway rather than a tee. Let's test Michael in situation, because we put him on the flat in the launch monitor and he shows a good level of control. It's a good strike, it's just a little left. See it down? Just pulled it slightly. You would expect that to cut more off that lie. Yeah. So we've brought Michael out onto the fairway because we want to try that downhill shot again, because you're saying that you get the pull with the downhill shot quite a lot.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Obviously indoors we've got no way of having that discussion, so I'm interested to see this. See, out of the two, that is such a better miss hit. Yeah. So we're 142, and again we're going to go from the grass because we're challenging strike. Again, keeping that sway out with the shorter stuff. Going for 8 iron. Yeah, that's the idea. See if we can chuck one up there. Slight push, but much better strike, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nice strike.
Much better strike.
Hit the ball and it's a bit tough.
Absolutely.
Afterwards.
Great distance. Yeah, it's not as slopey as you think. So if I'm playing for a draw on this, I'm aiming at that big cluster of trees there on the right side of the far fairway. Yeah. Yeah,
I was aiming over there.
You're aiming pretty much like over here. That's a snap hook, not a draw. You just want to shape it 10-15 yards. We don't want any locky sling balls here. No. This is the journey, not the journey to destruction. So that's a much better effort. You just didn't shape it enough, but because you calm down the angles a bit, the miss is far less aggressive. The first one, the shape was just far too aggressive.
Yeah,
you're going for. 7 iron, Michael. Yeah. So again, it's that downhill lie, so we don't want that swaying.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about that edge of that tree.
But again, if you do your hold off follow through, you can aim just right at the flag. Yeah. Don't use the shape. Take the shape out of it. So feel that pressure under that front foot, and keep it there a bit more. Downhill lie. See, I love that. That is such a good miss hit. That is a great shot. Well, it's thin, isn't it, rather than the fat, because you're moving your low point. Yeah. That is such a win for you. .127 uphill into the wind. So Michael, you had a 9 first, didn't you?
Yeah.
But we're going to go for an 8 less. So obviously what happens when you interpret power as your big swaying action, like you do off the tee. So what we're trying here is more club, feeling like it's a contained over the ball swing with a slight held off follow through. So it's quite a different way to way you'd normally play, isn't it?
More precision rather than just smash it.
Yeah. I'm loving that strike. There's that clean one again.
Bit thin, wasn't it?
Yeah, slightly too thin. So we're indoors and we're practicing a little bit more distance control just to finish. It was very clear on the course that strike is making distance control really challenging. That was slightly heavy. Did you feel that?
No. Like a great strike.
So if you look at that one again, that's your highest strike on the face.
Yeah, okay.
To be getting it up that high, you're using that club basically into that mat.
Yeah.
So the mat's giving you bounce, which you don't then see interpreting into ball flight. And then, yeah, look, if you look at this, then what happens is we get around 6,000 on a decent hit, slightly low, you're hitting a 6 iron. You drop down to 5,000 spin because of the higher strike. So the 5,000 spin is giving you more distance, or equaling the distance out from the slightly slower hit because it's duffed. And then also the mat isn't taking out of the shot the speed of the club.
Like it
that on
grass.
the grass, certainly on the damp grass like we're doing out there, that's a fact coming up short.
Yeah, sure.
They're really working on getting that sway out, feeling that centre turn a bit more.
Okay.
That's how we do that.
Yeah.
So a great start there from Michael. For me, what I thought was fantastic with that session was having the freedom in the way we're setting up this journey of the on-course and inside room. It was so clear that Michael wasn't going to give me the information we needed to fix him from the indoor room, and from the indoor room he was going to be able to hit good shots. Player of his ability, 12 handicap, bouncing the club off that mat, he isn't getting the same punishment that he gets when we get out on a golf course, certainly one that's slightly wet. So it's fantastic to get out there a bit early and try and get him to get rid of that sway, to get him to make that low point of his strike move ahead of the ball, to get those bad shots turning into fins, so slightly down the club, which was still getting, I mean, his closest shot came from a slightly clean strike, but his duffs, I mean, they're coming up 50 yards short and costing him shots. He's only got 12 shots, so we need to get him into single figures. We've got to get rid of those duffs. Post comments down below, let me know what you think. Michael, do you think he is the one who can get into single figures? He is the one who can get cut in the journey? Is Aiden still your favourite? Let me know, post those comments down below. As always, we've got 3 more students coming at you very, very soon.